Away we go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome once again to Reselling 101 with me, Karin. There, we put my name there today. Today is part 8 of 10, and we're going to be talking about listing. And I am an authority on beginning reselling because I've not done it that often all by myself. As some of you know, I have helped Prof over the last year or so with his business, and I just started my own store. So I am definitely well-versed in not being well-versed. So I wanted to tackle this section on listing specifically. While I'm not going to be able to teach you how to list necessarily, because honestly, you're not going to learn until you do it. Oh yeah, we should have done a sound check, right? It looks like the little green dots are working on my end, but if for some reason all you see is, please just say something into the chat and my audio video director over there will make, I don't know, we'll do a song and dance, a soft shoe or something. But anyway, you're not going to learn until you do it over and over again, and you're going to have to make your own mistakes along the way. And if you're a friend of the channel, you know that we are just not about doing it for you and giving you an easy way, because that sort of knowledge, if you can even call it that, is not going to benefit you long term. But today, with regard to listing, I am, however, going to point out some intricacies of the process and hopefully get you thinking about what you're doing. And I know that sounds crazy, but I think a lot of folks jump into this and just do that. They kind of close their eyes really tight and jump in with both feet, and then they're kind of having to pay the consequence later because they just didn't take a second to read. Right? There's different sections of each listing as we go through the process that we're going to touch on. And I think that the easiest, bestest way to do that, okay, be ready to be impressed with my screen share abilities here. I think we're going to put on our glasses and jump right in. What did I do?
You can show or listen.
Oh yeah. So as promised, we're going to do a listing for these because in an earlier Reseller 101 or Reselling 101, we took photos of these Band-Aid, Star Wars Band-Aid brand collector's tin Band-Aids. So we're actually going to use this item in the listing, and we're going to go step by step. So we're taking for granted that you've already taken the photo. I'm also taking some liberties in taking for granted that you've with your own listing, that you will have already known how to upload your photos, that you've already done some comparisons and decided what you're going to sell it for, that you've also weighed it and decide you're going to do some shipping. Although in a subsequent video, we are going to talk about shipping specifically. But in this instance, I've sort of taken some license here with regard to this, and I'm not going to go through some of those things because they're going to slow us down. Again, this video is a very beginning video that walks you through, for the very, very beginner, what will be presented to you when you go to make a listing as an individual. I do not have a store. I'm just a mom selling stuff on eBay, and not a lot of stuff at that. So let's go. We're going to go to screen share. We're going to go here. We're going to, oh, there's lots more things. And we're going to go to create your listing. So here we go. Oh, I have to hit share. Oh, this is not going as smoothly as we wanted it to, right? All right, so listing template. Here we go. So hopefully, can you still see that? Everybody can see. In this case, we could actually enter the UPC, which I do happen to know. But when I've sold this particular item before, but I'm just going to start typing, and I'm going to make mistakes apparently as we go. Band-Aid. Oh, and I'm going to make a lot of mistakes apparently. So let's call it Star Wars Band-Aid Twin Pack and Collector's 10. Now, one of the things that we'll omit from the listing is any sort of punctuation or weird different characters like the ampersand or a hyphen or anything like that, apostrophes. They're not necessary. So in this instance, we can just make it collectors instead of collectors possessive, which it says on the package. Now, if you go down here, we've got a couple of options for this particular item, and we can either list it under healthcare, or we can list it under Star Wars collectibles, as you can see right here. And hopefully you can see my little thing circling around there. Because when I originally bought these, my thought process was it was more collectible than anything. We're going to put it under Star Wars other collectibles. It's not a jigsaw, it's not a video game, but we can, in this instance, put it under Band-Aids if we want. But I'm banking on the person that buys this is actually going to be somebody that's looking for collectible things. Oops. So I clicked on it, and it's going to create a draft. How cool is that? So here we go. Let's just sort of rocket through this, and I will do my best to simplify for those of you that have never done this before. So in your title, it's a descriptive title, helps the buyers find your item. You want to state exactly what it is and include words that buyers, this is important, that they will actually use to search for your item. Are they going to put the word cool Star Wars Band-Aid Twin Pack Collector's Tin? Yeah, probably not. But they will use words like Band-Aid if they're wanting, because this particular item, for example, there's 4 different ones. So if they wanted to complete their collection of the 4, and this particular one would do that, they're not going to search for the word cool. So we have 33 characters left. What I think I want to add here is the fact that this is an X-Wing fighter, Star Wars Band-Aid Twin Pack and Collector's Tin Collector Series. Yeah, so that's enough. I just want to be able to differentiate that this one is the X-Wing and it's just not a generic. So somebody specifically looking for the X-Wing version of this would get it. I am not one to pay extra for anything, so the fact that I can make this title stand out in bold for an extra $4 or create a subtitle for an extra $150, and if you see, they're going to appear on the search results, and they can increase your buyer interest by providing more descriptive info. Yeah, I'm not going to do that. It's just my way. So in this instance, I think that I've been thorough in communicating to potential buyers what I'm selling. Star Wars Band-Aid Twin Pack and Collector's Tin, X-Wing Fighter Variety. So we're going to go down. You'll see that when we get to category, we're able to still change the category. And when you select that, they'll actually give you some choices, health and beauty or collectible Star Wars. And I'm just going to leave it how I have it. I'm good with that category. Second category, not necessary. You can put that again. If an extra fee applies, I'm just not going to be interested. So condition, in this instance, I only have 2 choices. It's either used or new, and it's brand new in a box. No worries there. And eBay will even give you the definition of what that means to them. So a brand new, unused, unopened, undamaged item, including handmade items, etc., etc. See the seller's listing for full details. Now, if you're selling a clothing item and you bought it and you know it's new, but it doesn't really have the tags on it still, or it's still not in the package, I mean, be really careful with this. You can communicate in the listing if it's, used, but there's different things you can do, but just be very careful. Something that is new is new. It's not ever kind of new, if that makes sense. Now with photos, I purposefully didn't do a draft here, but you guys were with me when I took the photos for this particular item. So we're going to go to add photos, and hopefully, yes, there they are. Well, they're almost there. So there are my little thumbnails, and I'm going to click on one, hit my shift, go all the way across. I think there were like 7 in this instance. I'm going to select all the photos I want. I'm going to click open, and they're going to start to upload. And I know it goes fast, so I'm going to dwell here for a minute. But as you get into a rhythm, you can actually choose to upload your photos and then go down further in the listing process and start that part, and then come back once the photos have already loaded. And I did practice this morning, and I purposely did not change the orientation of the photos because this is something that happens every now and then when we upload from our iPhones to our Macs, is that it all by itself changes the orientation of the photo. It's really easy to fix that. You just click on the photo, change it, save it. And I'm going to do that times 7 as we talk. And I'm actually going to do something a little different here because this is the photo. When we talked about the photo taking process for these, I purposefully took this photo at an angle. I kind of like it better. So I can drag and drop to rearrange the order of the photos. And I can do that with any of them. And as you can see, you can also edit the photos, adjust for brightness. You can sharpen it. You can do an auto adjust. There's all, well, not all manner, but you can also edit on your phone or your other device, but there's different things we can do here to modify the picture. When doing that, when cropping it, editing it, with regard to how it actually portrays the image, you want it to be actual. Don't change the color of the image or make it look like something it's not, because that's just not you being an open and honest seller there. And I think you can get in trouble for putting something out into the universe that's not entirely accurate. So we're going to, I know, but there. So we have one more, we might as well do it. So there, we save it. And the only other thing I did is I dragged and dropped. I wanted this picture as the opener instead of that one. And we went ahead and showed all angles, which you can do with any item. Make sure you're depicting it accurately. And there we go. So then we're going to go down, display a large photo in search results with Gallery Plus. No, not going to do that. They recommend next in item specifics. You're going to provide info about the item you're selling, such as brand, size, type, size, color, and style. And it says right here, and these little I buttons are very handy. They're informational. These details are going to help buyers find your item when they filter their searches and appear at the top of your listing description in a consistent format. So you'll see that eBay is going to recommend these item specifics. I'm good with that. Star Wars, that's what people are going to be looking for when they look for my item. I already know that these were made in Brazil, so I can click that. Add your own item specific. There's nothing really that I can add to this that would differentiate it better. Maybe if it was a size or a color, we could do that. And I'll go ahead and click on it so you see what that looks like. But you would write the word size here, 10, color, blue in the second line, things like that. But there's nothing really under than, in Star Wars specifics that I would do here. The tab underneath for item description now, the HTML, they're doing away with this active content stuff, so we're really not going to deal with links within our item description. It's totally not necessary. But this little thing over here, this mobile friendly checker, is kind of new, and this is going to be cool. So I'm going to show you. So all we're going to put in the item description is that it is Band-Aid brand, Star Wars. This is when we're going to get specific. Twin pack, and stay with me. I know I spelled it wrong. Collector's tin. So love that there's a spell check here, right? And in this case, I'm going to put what's in it. So I write the word contains 1, collector's tin, and in this case, it's X-Wing fighter. And then 2, assorted bandages. And if I hit return, and you can do a bullet, right? And I'm going to actually put the sizes. So it's 3/4 inch by 3 inches. And there are 20 Band-Aids in there. And I know I'm being uber specific, but I'm doing that on purpose because I want people to know exactly what they're getting, right? Because I've seen these where people actually sell used-ish versions of these, and then the next one is 2¼ inches, 20 Band-Aids. Okay. And that's really all. I don't think there was anything else I wanted to say about my Band-Aids, right? I don't think so. That pretty much tells people everything that is listed on here. You can put the word Disney, perhaps. You can put anything. Oh, I wanted to show you this. So mobile friendly checker, this is so cool because most people are looking at your listings on mobile devices now. It's true story. So look what happens. If I leave it like this, it's going to get all, people can't see that. So you can actually ask it to fix it for you, and look what coolness happens. There, Band-Aid brand, Star Wars Twin Pack and Collector's Tin. There it tells you what's in it, and then we hit save, and it's already been formatted. So there you go. So then we're going to go down here. I see it. There. So format, fixed price or auction style. I'm going to do this fixed price. Auction just means you're going to auction it off to the highest bidder. And for this example, we're not going to do that. I can't cover everything. Duration. Did I do auction by accident? No, I didn't. So duration, good till canceled or 30 days. Either way, we're going to get an insertion fee or we're not. Or I'm sorry, we're always going to get an insertion fee. But 30 days means at the end of 30 days, if it hasn't sold, you can have the option to list it again, and it'll actually send you a note, and you can do that. Good till canceled, it'll just sit there, and you don't have to sort of set it and forget it, right? There's different schools of thought as to which is better. In this instance, I'm going to choose 30 days. Know that each month, regardless of whether it's 30 days or good till canceled, whatever listings you have up count towards your listings. So it's not necessarily that you're not going to get dinged for it when if you just set it once and do it again. So start my listings when I submit them, or schedule to start on such and such a date. So I always leave this start my listings when I submit them. So then when I go down to the bottom and I hit live, it'll go. My buy it now price, which means just that. I'm not doing an auction, so I want people to buy it. What did I say? So $14.99, and the next line allows people to make me an offer, and I am going to actually do this. It actually hasn't asked me for it yet, but I'm going to include shipping at that price. So I will entertain an offer, a best offer for, I'm going to automatically accept an offer at, say, $12. So anything that's at least 12, it'll automatically accept. Anything that is below 12, it's automatic. Oops, that's not right. It's automatically going to say no. Actually, we're there. So quantity is 1, so I'm not selling it as a lot. I'm not doing a private listing, and the make a donation is something else. So I'm going to take a second and unshare. How do I do that? So here. Oh yeah, so we go here. We're going to unshare for just a moment. Is it done?
Yep.
Okay, so we're going to go back over here, and we're going to skippy by this part, and we're going to go back. So far we're almost there. Bear with me. Nobody said this was easy, people. It takes a couple of minutes. It goes quicker once you've done it more than once. So now we're going to go back to screen share. And all I did was kind of go beyond a certain part. Let's go here and share. So now underneath that part is sales tax. I'm an individual. I did share that, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I'm an individual. I'm not charging sales tax. I don't have a store. Here's the fun part. So returns accepted. I kind of chuckle. I don't know much, but I always chuckle when people put no returns accepted. And maybe on certain items that's possible. If you ate it, or if, I don't know, if you used it and there's only half of it left or something. But here's the thing. If somebody has a beef with your item, PayPal PayPal's rules on how and when they'll return money are not the same as eBay's. So with regard to always keeping good customer service in the forefront of your brain, you got to offer some kind of returns. If not, don't think for a second that because you click no returns, that means you're never going to give a refund, because that's just not accurate. And it says right here, under no returns accepted, the item could still be returned if it doesn't match the listing's description. And I've heard stories from folks where it can get kind of creative on what actually defines not matching the listing's description. So in this instance, we're going to leave it at 30 days. Your options for what that refund looks like are money back or replacement, buyer's choice, money back or exchange, buyer's choice. And in most cases, if it's a one-off, people don't have 10 of these necessarily. So I'm just going to put money back as a credit. Return shipping will be paid by the buyer, because I'm not going to give free shipping coming and going. That doesn't make sense. And here for additional return policies, if there's anything additional that you want to put in there, there's ways that you can set up templates, but for today's purpose, we're not going to add any extra return policies. That's pretty straightforward. This last item here under returns, automatically relist this item up to 2 times if it doesn't sell. Fees may apply for each relist. So in my case, I just accepted, and you'll see at the bottom when we go to fees and such, I just signed up for another free 500 listings or something like that. So it will automatically count, like if it relists this for you, it will count those each time as a insertion fee, or it won't if you're not getting charged insertion fees for that period or that promotion or whatever. All right, shipping details. In my case, and we joked about this morning, but okay, it's going to be flat. It's going to be the same cost to all buyers, because in my case, I'm giving them free shipping, right? And there's a thing where eBay will actually come back and ask you, if you want to get more exposure on your item, you need to do this and this. And this is offer free shipping is one of those components. So just for sake of defining what things are here, flat is just, it costs the same to all buyers. So obviously in my case, free shipping, free would be to everybody, but you could also put a flat amount there. But be careful, because if you put $5 and you live in Virginia and you're charging everybody $5, but then somebody from Alaska buys your stuff, it's going to cost you maybe $5, more than $5 to send it. So the next option is calculated. This varies by buyer location, freight, larger items over 150 pounds, or local pickup only. I'm not doing either one of those. We're going to leave it for flat for now. I'm gonna put free shipping here, and it'll zero it out. But if you're using calculated or a different listed method where you put it, look at this. This is so cool. So, and this speaks to, you probably should have weighed it before you got to this process, which I did. These Band-Aids only weigh about, I don't know, 6-7 ounces. I think it's a very lightweight package, but you have almost every option imaginable here that's been calculated for you, or is listed for you. So first class package is how we're going to send this. Where is the weight? Oh, the weight thingy hasn't come up yet. So free shipping, local pickup not applicable here. Handling time, select your handling time, same business day. I wouldn't put it like, this is just craziness. Who's going to buy from you if you're not going to send their stuff for 30 days? There might be somebody. But for me, within 24 hours, 1 business day is pretty reasonable. Now, if you're going out of town, or you're just not available, you choose something different, of course. Yeah, there's the weight down there. So the next item, international shipping. eBay also offers this really cool thing, and I've actually sold these Band-Aids. I sold 3 of them to the same guy in Japan, and I wouldn't have been able to do that if I hadn't selected Global Shipping Program option here, or GSP, as you'll hear people bandy about. And what this does is it just basically, you ship it to Kentucky and then it goes on from there. eBay will put on extra shipping charges, but that never comes across your radar. So you're not taxed for that. It doesn't even come up. You're not going to make any money off of that shipping either. It's just all part of getting your item to whoever in whatever country that they live in. For other shipping options, for international, there wouldn't be any. We're just going to sell internationally with the GSP. It's going to go to Kentucky. In this case, you don't have to put it here. You're going to be asked to put this in again anyway for dimensions. My options for this, it's not a letter. It's not going to go in a large envelope. It's not going to go in a large package. That's pretty spot on. It's not in a regular package. And then the weight, 1 pound or less. But keep in mind, because I'm sending it first class, I'm still going to have to, when I sell it and I ship it, I'm still going to have to enter this, because even though it's free, stay with me now, even though the shipping is free, nothing is free. So you as the seller are actually going to eat that cost. So if we sold these for $15 and offered free shipping, then whatever the actual shipping cost works out to be, we're going to take that off of our bottom line. Okay, so I'm not excluding, next line item, not excluding really any locations from where I'm going to offer to sell this. Where it's coming from is my city, my zip code. Don't have to change that because I'm not making any changes. And you'll see here, I kind of alluded to this earlier, there are no fees. And sometimes if you sell similar, you have to be careful here. This is like a good check backer for me, for lack of better. But I know that I'm not I'm not going to have any fees here because I opted into the 500 free listings, right? No insertion fees. So if any dollar amount showed up here, then maybe I've checked something inadvertently. And I've done that, not that I've listed that many, but I have done that a couple of times where I chose a sell similar option. And then there was $1 down here or $2 down here. And I was able to go back into my draft and go back into the draft and change it. Now, do I want to do that? No. All right. So then your options down at the bottom are list it, preview it, or save and continue later. And it's grand because you can actually do the written part of your listing and save it as a draft. You can upload the photos and the title and save it as a draft. I mean, it's probably better just to, gut it out and do it. But there's all kind of options here. And I am going to go back. So you hit list, it goes live, you're good to go. And let's go ahead and unscreen. There I am again. So hopefully this helped demystify this listing process. And it's, I don't know if funny is a good way to put it, but a lot of folks that are new to this and just getting started just don't. And at some point you have to pull the trigger and you have to educate yourself. And while I walked you through the different parts of the listing process, you're not going to get good at this by just watching all these YouTube videos or all these Facebook groups and people just bombarding information at you. And I'm often surprised with some of the questions that come up in some of our videos that we make or discussion groups where somebody asks a question, what's a keyword or what are my options for shipping, and if you would just take, it doesn't take a lot of time, look at it as an investment in yourself and your business, educate yourself, just take a couple minutes a day and read the specifics on how to do this. It's not that hard, but if you miss something, like let's say you don't read about the rules of how to do this or the suggestions that the platform gives you, you're cutting yourself short, I think, and you're not, you're not investing in yourself. And I think that that's what this is all about. Today we talked a little bit about creating a good title using the characters that they give you and using words that people are actually going to going to search for. When they're looking for Star Wars Band-Aids, I don't think they're going to be looking for, sparkly, fantastic Band-Aids or something, right? So think about that. Your keywords are important. I touched a little bit on, there's an option there where you can sell similar. If you're going to, and that's kind of next level. Again, this video is just that. So if you're going to leave a comment below, one, I hope you'll like it, but be constructive. This is a time capsule. I look at these videos as paying it forward, helping somebody that's still on the fence, hasn't gotten started yet. And I can't tell you how many times we get comments where people just, if it's not positive or constructive, why even spend the time leaving a comment there if it's not meant, this is meant to help people. So if you've got a question that's going to be helpful, please put it there. With sell similars, for example, if you go to mirror someone else's listings, be careful because it'll take everything and you have to actually go line item by line item and make sure that it's what you want to put out into the universe, because sometimes it'll catch you up on specifics. Will you offer free shipping? Is buy it now going to work better for you versus auctions? And this is the biggie. So accuracy in what you put into your listing and what you're selling versus the actual item itself. And your grammar, spelling and grammar are so important. And I showed you with that listing that, spell check on computers now it's instant. So there's no reason why you should spell anything wrong. And so often, I'm sure you've seen them too, where folks put a listing up there and something's spelled wrong, or it's just, Star Wars is one word or something. I mean, Star Wars fans, come on, seriously? So just take a minute. You don't have to, everything doesn't have to be, rocket fast all the time. There's something to be said about being accurate in what you put out there, and it's going to pay off, I think, in making you money. Because if you spell it wrong, if we put that it was Steer Wars or something, who the heck's going to look for steers in Band-Aids? I think not too many people, right? So the only other thing that we didn't cover on this one is in that item description, because it's new in a box, it's not really going to have any flaws or possible defects. So my other unpro tip for the day is that it's not enough to portray something in a photo. If you want to bring it to someone's attention, use your words, okay? It's especially if it's a potential defect or something that's not 100% from when it was originally bought. So that's very important. Don't take things for granted. So yeah, there you go. That should be enough to get you into trouble, right? Thank you once again for sharing this part of your reselling journey with me, as I have been sharing mine with you. My goal is to help you become more comfortable in your own ability to, in this instance, to portray your item as accurately and effectively online as possible, right? You did that with your photos, so why spend that amount of time and attention on photos if you're not going to do it justice on the listing process as well? So go out there, educate yourself. I hope that my time here was helpful. It's certainly not the only way, but it's a starting point. I hope that it gets you to jump off that fence, pull the trigger, and it's helping to lay a good foundation for what will be a productive business for you as you go forward. Consider, oh, there I am right there. Oh, that's the wrong way. Where? Oh, there it is. There I am. So consider smashing that like button. And if you haven't subscribed to this channel, please, we welcome resellers and humans on all levels of this journey as we go along together. And I'm glad that you were here this morning. Leave a constructive comment below so that it can help someone else. Pay it forward. And we're glad that we could all be a part of this evolution together. So thank you. And until next time, this is me, Karin, saying good, great reselling 101 to you. Thanks, guys.